Hi all, a very warm welcome to our HTML class. So in the last class we have discussed on what is HTML, the use of HTML and different tags that we use in HTML. Right from HTML, head, title, body, headings, paragraphs and few formatting elements such as underline, bold, italic, strong, mark, emphasis, and also container tags, empty tags, and we have discussed on this link using using anchor tag. And so today we'll discuss on CSS, like we'll simultaneously see what CSS is and how do we use CSS in our markup language. Okay, so first of all, let me save this, and then after executing this file1.html, the output that I am getting is this one. Right now, if I want the background color of this particular page to be in pink, so how do I do it? And then we'll use this CSS. Okay, so yeah, CSS, that which stands for cascading style sheets. Okay, so CSS, that is cascading style sheets, is helpful in order to control the layout of our web page, and also we can even control the layout if even multiple web pages at once. And what does this exactly do is, so suppose if I would like to change the font color, font size, or bring the spacing between the elements, or give a background color to my web page, or change the font family of my web page, or change the width and height of a particular image, or bring in the animations changes, like it can be from pixels range and all. Right from how are we going to display a particular text to how are we going to change the screen size or images, and different various changes, like various changes to any web page, then we'll use this cascading style sheets, that is CSS. Okay, so how do we do it means, yeah, so first of all, this plays a crucial role in web development, right? So in order to make our web page appealing, accessible, and also responsive from all the areas, we use three types of CSS. Like there are basically three types of CSS. One is inline CSS, second one is internal CSS, and third one is external CSS. Okay, so we have three kinds of CSS. One is inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. And the major advantages of all the CSS that we are using is, first of all, to control the layout, and second one is to give a responsive design by changing sizes and all, and the third one is it will be it is like reusable, consistent, and it is easy to maintain. Okay, using CSS is easy to maintain, and also it will even help in loading our page in a faster way. Okay, so first of all, the prerequisites. After knowing this, the main prerequisite of any CSS is HTML. Okay, first we need to have a HTML file, and we need to even have a editor. It can be text edit, or notepad, or any Visual Studio. There have to be an editor, and we need to have a HTML file and a browser, obviously, right? And we'll just see the sample code on how do we do this three types of CSS. We'll start with inline CSS first of all. So the most basic thing you need to know for CSS, in order to use a CSS, the tag should be style tag. Okay, we use style tag and our style attribute in order to perform our CSS. First suppose I'm just taking my inline CSS. For inline CSS, first suppose I would want to change my body background color. So style attribute is equals to background color. I'm going to give pink. Okay, so I'm just changing the style of my body in the body line itself, in the body tag itself. Then we call it as an inline CSS. We'll see the execution. Okay, so my background color has changed to pink, and the same thing, same background color, if for suppose we can do something else, like for my particular paragraph I would want to change the color of my text to some other color, then I'll have to simply give as style is equals to color to on pink, blue looks good, so blue. Okay, so the particular thing has changed to blue color, my paragraph, and this is how you write an inline CSS. Okay, and then when we are talking about internal CSS, right? Internal CSS is used to define a style only for one HTML page at once. For suppose file 1.html is one HTML page. Similarly, file 2.html is the second one. File 3.html is the third one. So for only one HTML page, you can only have one style. Okay, so the same style tag you cannot use for two or more HTML pages. One HTML page has only one style, and so we call it as internal CSS will define a style for only one single HTML page. Okay, and the internal CSS is defined in the head tag itself. So how do I do it? Means style, using a style tag. In the style tag I'll be writing as for particular h2 heading. For particular h2 heading, I want my color to be brown. Okay, and then close it with a semicolon. So what am I doing here is in the head tag itself, in the internal CSS, in the head tag itself, I'm going to open a style tag and then write my h2 heading where I wanted to change my CSS, and then I'm just giving a color because I want to change my text color for my h2 heading. So my text color for h2 heading has changed to brown as given. Alright, so this is how you do an internal CSS, and you can add any number of styles, any number of elements to your style tag. It can be h2, again I'm giving as a h6. For h6 also I have to change my color to blue violet. Okay, so this is how you change your h2 heading, h2 h6 heading to a different particular color. And in the similar way we have different styles. I have now added only color of the text and also background color. Similarly, you can even change the text. For suppose text align should be to the center, means it comes to the center, the particular text will come to the center. And in the similar way, if you want the text size, okay, text size adjust should be or else font size, we'll just give a simple font size, I think that works. Okay, so for font size I'm giving it as 10 pixels, 10 px means 10 pixels. It has actually changed, so I'll give it as instead of 10 I'll give 50 for your understanding. Okay, so this is how you change this font size. And similarly, if you want to change a font family is nothing but the text, text family. For suppose it can be Arial, Times New Roman, Georgia, or Jill Sans, or Geneva, Vadana. You have different font families. You can choose any of it. For suppose I'm just choosing, this one. We'll see how does it work. My font family. All right. You can give any font family. It just changes the font. How do you want to display your font will be changed in the font family. And in the similar way, we have other attributes, other properties in style, such as font size, font family, font style. Font style can be italic, normal, or just no normal thing, and I'm just giving as italic. And again, we have various features such as font size, family, weight, style, display, stretch, variance and all. And also for text also you have emphasis, decorations, overflow, shadows, adjust, wrappings and all, decoration colors. So depending upon your requirement, you can change any style you want for the internal CSS using a style tag in the head section itself. Alright, so this is how the CSS works. And just in case if you would want to use a external CSS, so we have seen that in inline CSS we use style tag, style attribute in the body tag itself, or in a particular tag that you want to use, you use the style tag in that particular tag only. And in the internal CSS we use the style attribute in the head section using a style tag. And in a similar way you can use a CSS in the external way also, where you need to define your style in an external file, and you can use that particular external file for how many pages you want. For multiple pages also it will work. Okay, a simple difference: inline only for that particular tag it will work, internal only for that particular HTML page it will work, and then external CSS it will work for multiple pages at once. Okay, so we'll now see how do we create the external CSS. For that reason you have to take a new text file, and in new text file I would want to change my h3 for suppose. Okay, so dot or just normal h3, and in h3 I would want to change my color to black, and then save it as style.css. I'm just saving it as a normal name. You can use any name you want. I'm using just style.css, and then save. And then this CSS you have to link to your HTML. So how do we do it means, in your head section itself just write down link rel, relation is equals to style sheet. This is mandatory. Okay, link relation is equals to style sheet, where the href, the URL that you are using, or the name that you are using for it is style.css. Alright, in the head section we are going to link the style sheet with where I have saved my CSS as style.css, and using href attribute I am going to link it. Okay, save and then execute. So sorry, it's already in the black color, right? Style.css, let me change it to purple, and then save this again. Alright, so h3 has changed the purple color. Done. So this is how inline, internal and external CSS work. And in the similar way you can add to the external CSS also font size, 25px, and let me just change the text align to my right side. We'll see how does it work. Save this, and then yeah, so my text align has come to the right side and my font size has changed to 25px, and this is how inline, internal and external CSS will work. Okay, so you can even add borders to it. We'll see one more element as border. For suppose for my paragraph, I'll give it in my external itself. For my paragraph, if I would want to change the border to, I wanted to give a border to my paragraph with 3 pixels and solid violet color. Okay, we'll see how does it work. So I got a border for all my paragraphs with 3px and solid violet color. Even I am teaching HTML is in a paragraph. That is why I got it in a paragraph. Okay, that is why I got it in a border. So this is how border works, and you can give paddings to the border, margins to the border. We'll see how does it work as well. For suppose for my particular border with 3px and solid violet color, I would want to give a margin. Margin is nothing but the space that you get outside a border. For suppose this is my border, and how much space I would want to give, how much space I want to define to a particular border outside of that border is what we see in the margin. For example, let me just give you 10px for a border margin. Okay, so it has changed. And similarly, if you're just giving padding, right, let me just give you padding also. Padding I'll be giving it as 30px. So padding is another property, another CSS property which defines the space in between the text and the border. Okay, while margin defines the space outside the border, padding defines the space between the text and that particular border. Okay, so this is what is padding is all about. What exactly happened here is I have given a 30px, so in between my text and the border I got a space of 30px, and between the margins I got only 10px. If I want to change it to 30px, right, so it has ridiculously changed. So this is how it works, paddings and margins in CSS. You just need to understand the basic difference, where margin is the difference, margin defines the space outside the border, and padding defines the space between the text and the border. And whatever the external CSS you are giving, you have to link it using link relation is equals to style sheet is mandatory with the attribute as href in order to define our URL where it is being linked. And yeah, so yes, in today's class we have seen styles, different styles using links, without link, in inline and internal, and we have used different styles such as font size, color, text, background color and all. So in the next class we'll see again on HTML and CSS with tables, list and few other form inputs and all. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.